in school, they like to break you into groups. They tell you it's not based on how smart you are. Yeah, but everyone knows it is. There's usually 3 groups. There's the advanced group, the intermediate group, and then, well, the teachers don't come out and say it, but there's the slow group. I realized this in first grade after the reading test, where the teacher took each kid into the hallway individually and gave them a sheet of paper with some sentences on it to read. I couldn't wait for my turn. I was ready to ace this test. So when I went out in the hallway, I grabbed the piece of paper and I just went for it. I started reading. My first sentence was, Tom uses red paint. Okay, I knew the word Tom, but uses? I didn't know that one, so I tried sounding it out. So we had us as, that's not right, oozes, Tom, yeah, okay. Tom oozes red paint. And then I was done. I went back into the classroom and didn't think much more of it till a couple days later when the teacher announced that she would be putting us into reading groups. There was 3 of them. There was the Falcons, there was the Cheetahs, and then there was my group, the Ladybugs. Yeah, you tell me which one is the slow group. At first, we all started off by reading the same kinds of books, but then I started to notice that the other groups were moving on to small chapter books, like the Boxcar Children, while the Ladybugs were still reading books like Piggy and Gerald, where each page consisted of less than 5 words and had a picture of a small pig and an elephant with tiny glasses. Yeah, welcome to the world of a ladybug. Then second grade. 3 more groups. This time the teachers didn't even try. There was the gold group, the silver group, and yep, the bronze group. Starting the year in 3rd place. But I thought it would be okay. I thought that I would have my fellow ladybugs to back me up. But it turned out that some of my fellow ladybugs had gotten smarter over the summer. And they were in the silver and even the gold group. Not me. No. Once a ladybug, always a ladybug. Second grade also introduced us this new concept. It was called DEAR. It stood for Drop Everything and Read, which pretty much just meant for 30 minutes you had to sit quietly and read to yourself. All the kids loved it. They loved it. I hated it. I would try to read, and my eyes would be reading the words, but my brain was thinking about other things like, this book is so boring. I should write my own book. That would be the most interesting book in the world, and it wouldn't be boring, it'd be hilarious, and I'd win a bunch of prizes, and celebrities would read them, and I wonder if my mom packed me those cookies I liked. Then I would get to the bottom of the page and realize I had no clue what I just read. So I'd start over. Then 3 pages into it, once again, I would realize I had no clue what I just read. And I remembered half of it, but the things I did remember, I didn't understand. Yeah, so I'd have to read 1 page at least 3 times before I completely remembered everything, while the kid next to me would be on their 10th page. I was starting to fall behind, but I didn't want to ask for help. I didn't want the teachers thinking I was dumb. Then 3rd grade. Guess what happened? Yep. 3 more groups. I honestly don't really remember the names. It was pretty much just the advanced group, the intermediate group, and the you suck at reading, Juliette, so go back and read with the 2nd graders group. Right, yeah. I was so bad at reading that every day I would have to leave my 3rd grade class, go down the hall, and read with 2nd graders. It was mortifying. I remember the day the teacher told me, she kind of pulled me aside and said, Juliette, so the teachers have noticed that you've been struggling, yes, when it comes to reading, so we thought it would be a good idea if you maybe spent some more time with Mrs. Brown, the 2nd grade teacher. I looked back at her and I said, but I already did that last year. My heart hurt and I was so embarrassed and I just didn't want to go back to school. But I did, and every day I'd have to watch all my friends go into their groups, and I would have to take the walk of shame down the hall and go read with 2nd graders. And of course, yes, the 2nd graders were wondering why I, a 3rd grader, was reading with them. Fair question, and I would always just say, well, I am such a good reader, Yes, that the teachers thought it would be good for you guys, just in case you had any questions or need any help, because I am such a good reader, and frankly, I love reading. Yeah, but sometimes I would just go into the bathroom and think of ways I could get out of reading. I could say I was sick. Ooh, but I was already sick twice this month. I could say I lost a tooth. Ooh, that wouldn't do anything, and that just sounded weird. I would usually end up just staring in the mirror and asking myself, Juliette, why aren't you smarter? Why can't you read like everyone else? You're literally the only one. Why are you so dumb? We started this Shakespeare unit where we just read through Shakespeare's most famous scenes, and they wanted us to read things out loud like, and add thereto a tiger's chaudron for the ingredients of our cauldron. Yeah, I looked over the pages, and it was like trying to read in another language. That's when I gave up. And every day that we read through Shakespeare, I'd start to feel sick, afraid that they would call on me, and everyone would find out that I couldn't read this stuff. So I would take the new scenes home for my mom so she could read them to me. We'd sit on the couch, and she'd start reading, and every 5 minutes she'd go, okay, so what happened in this last part? Or, wait, Juliette, are you even listening? I thought I was listening. I could hear her words. I knew she was talking, but I don't remember what she said. Was I not listening? One day became so much that I broke down, started crying, and couldn't stop. I told my mom that I hated school. I wasn't smart enough to be there. I'd rather die than go back there because I was just too dumb. She let me cry, and she hugged me, and she told me I wasn't dumb, I was smart, and I was brave, and then she took me to a therapist. Yeah, she's still a mom. And through the therapist, we took some testing, and we found out that there was reasons why I was struggling in school. There were reasons why I felt like I couldn't read. I had ADHD, dyslexia, and dysgraphia. Hearing this news absolutely crushed me. I mean, I knew there was something wrong with me. I knew that there were reasons why I was struggling in school, but just hearing it was awful. And now I'd have to go around and tell people about it. But when I told my sister, she kind of just shrugged it off like it was no big deal and said, Juliette, you're not the only person with ADHD and dyslexia. Wait, I'm not? No, a bunch of people have it, even some of my friends. Are you serious? Juliette, just because you have learning differences doesn't mean you're dumb. You're actually really smart. You just learn differently than everyone else does. I'm not dumb. So I started taking medicine, and it helped me focus in school. I started working with tutors, and it helped me get stronger at reading. I started doing better in school because I had a plan for the way I learned. And yes, I may never love or even just enjoy reading, and I will always have to work harder, but I've learned to love my learning differences because I wouldn't be the same person I am without them. And this year, when I took my 7th grading reading test, my Lexile score was at a 10th grade level. So yes, technically, I'd be in the gold group.